The Papercraft battles of Mario & Luigi Paper Jam are not very good. I mean, they try to be the replacement for Mario & Luigi Bowser Inside Story and Dream Team's Giant battles, but I just think it does such a bad job because they're really slow paced and they just control terribly. So I decided, wouldn't it be a fun thing for you guys to vote on your favorite Papercraft battle? Well, it was fun for me to watch because I had no idea what the results were actually going to be. And what the results are, well, they're very odd, because again, I had no idea what they're going to be, so any result would have been shocking to me. So, I have the results, let's get right into this video. But actually, before we get right into this video, I do want to mention, someone suggested that I try to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's going to be really hard, but you know what, we'll try it. So if you're into the Mario RPGs at all, or you know a fan of the Mario RPGs that has subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, I really appreciate that. But other than that, let's get started on this video. Papercraft Kamek did really bad on this poll. I mean, out of 70 votes, it got one single vote when there was 5 options. That's really depressing. It's not even the first Papercraft battle in the game, and it got 1 vote. That's really depressing. But, I mean, Papercraft Kamek is just not that interesting. That's the main reason why it's probably this low. I mean, what is there with this fight? I mean, there's definitely some really forgettable things about it. I mean, the first part of it, when you have to defeat Pokies and Goombas. I mean, obviously, the Goomba thing you already did in Mega Crinkle Goomba, and the Pokies themselves actually make the fight worse, because they're really slow, so you can't dash into them. But you can't jump onto them because of the new ability that you get with new Papercraft Luigi. And speaking of that ability is also pretty forgettable, because it doesn't actually help you with the Kamek fight itself. All it really helps you with is just being able to jump on Pokies, because you have a hammer now, and you can just hammer on the Pokies. But you can't actually control it with the new gameplay experience. It just happens when you jump. So, it doesn't really feel any different from Mario. So, in that regard, it's really boring. And the Kamek fight itself is, I mean, it's fine. It's not great. It's not good. It's not bad, though, which is nice. It's just really bland and kind of forgettable. Especially because you fight this fight also in Papercraft Bowser. So, yeah, I mean, there's just not much with this fight. This fight's pretty boring to me. I don't really like it that much. I mean, again, I don't really like any Papercraft battles. It's just a really bland Papercraft battle, and that is why it's at the bottom of this list. Papercraft Mega Crinkle Goomba has a really long name. Isn't that so interesting? No? Well, you better get used to it, because there's literally nothing else interesting about this fight. The first phase, all you're doing is killing Goombas. The small-sized Goombas, just run right into them with a dash. The medium-sized Goombas, just run into them with a dash once and then jump on them. Bam, all the Goombas are dead. But then you deal with Mega Crinkle Goomba himself, and he's also pretty easy. All you have to do is dash into him at a certain time, and then you jump on him. You do this many times until he's dead. So, yeah, not very interesting of a fight. But to be honest, the people that voted for it, I do actually understand completely why. I know exactly why you guys voted for him, or at the very least I can guess. The main reason why people voted for him is, well, he's very simple, he's very easy, and most importantly, he's very short. That is the main reason why people voted for him, because this fight takes like 45 minutes, and the rest of the Papercraft battles take around like 15 to 20 minutes. It's just ridiculous. I don't really like that part about Papercraft battles, but this one is very short and very easy to get over with. So if you don't like Papercraft battles, Papercraft Mega Crinkle Goomba is the perfect option for you to vote for. For the people that voted for it, I completely understand why, but if you like Papercraft battles, then yeah, you're definitely going to be voting for another one. Papercraft Bowser in the number 2 spot, of course, had to be in a tiebreaker. There was 5 bosses on this poll, but somehow, some way, there was a tiebreaker. Both of these bosses got 19 votes. That is really stupid. That's over 20%, but they still tied. Whatever. So, Papercraft Bowser lost a tiebreaker, obviously, and, well, I think the main reason for it is that if you do not like Papercraft battles, this battle is going to be a nightmare for you, just straight up, because before we're actually fighting Bowser, it's a boss gauntlet. You have to go through every single Papercraft battle that you've gone through so far, and you have to fight him again with Fire Mario. But I do want to mention that Fire Mario is definitely a good addition to this Papercraft battle. I actually think it's a good addition because you get to use fireballs and destroy other bosses, which is kind of fun, but it just takes a while. I just like using the fireballs in general because it's a projectile, but fighting the bosses with it is just kind of annoying. But I do want to mention the last fight with actual Papercraft Bowser is actually good. Just straight up, I actually enjoy it, which is shocking for a Papercraft battle. And that's the thing about it. Literally, this fight could be number 5 on my Papercraft battle ranking, but I could also think of it as being number 1 because I actually like the Bowser part of it. I mean, it actually works. It's difficult, but in a good way, because it's not difficult because of the controls. It's just because his attacks are actually kind of hard to dodge. I actually like this boss fight. It's really weird, but I just don't like the stuff before it, which is why it's still my least favorite Papercraft battle in Paper Jam. So I do understand why people didn't vote for it, just because it's super long compared to every other Papercraft battle in the game. Papercraft King Boo won the tiebreaker. I mean, I guess it's kind of deserved. I don't know. I mean, both the bosses that were in the tiebreaker are really bad in my opinion, so I guess this one deserves the win. It's definitely shorter than Papercraft Bowser, so I guess in that regard it's better. But Papercraft King Boo, most people like this fight because of Yoshi and his tongue attack, or at least that's my guess, and the terrain. Well, the terrain, I actually agree with. It is kind of cool that it's not really at all connected, but I don't like Yoshi's tongue attack. I will say that it's used well in some situations, and really the only situation I think it's used well is when you're doing a trio grab in a Papercraft battle. I actually think that's pretty creative, but when you're using the tongue attack to drag enemies into the battlefield when they're outside in the lava, aka boos, it's so annoying because it's mapped to the dash button, the tongue attack. So, if you miss, you're dashing straight into the lava, which means you're getting unnecessary damage on yourself, which is actually pretty infuriating. And you have to do this constantly in the actual King Boo fight, which is why I actually don't like this fight at all, because it's just constantly running into the lava, and it's very irritating, because it's not really my fault, it's just how the controls work with the tongue attack. If it was actually mapped to a different button, I think that this fight would have been pretty enjoyable, but sadly, because the controls are so bad in this fight, I do not like Papercraft King Boo. I guess I kind of understand why people voted for it, but for me personally, it's just not enjoyable at all. Papercraft Bowser Jr. is also my favorite Papercraft personally, so I'm glad it won this poll. I mean, it's not like an amazing Papercraft, and I would have been fine with really any Papercraft winning, but I'm glad that my personal favorite won. So, Papercraft Bowser Jr. It's not a great fight, but to be fair, the only problems I really have with this fight are problems that I share with every single Papercraft battle, like it being kind of annoying to control. Even the icy physics aren't even that bad, because to be fair, Papercraft battles already kind of control badly, so it's just kind of nullified in that regard. But I actually like using Peach here. That's the main thing that this fight adds. I mean, she has an umbrella, which means that she can float up before doing a ground pound, which is pretty nice. And I actually like a reflective shield with the umbrella. It's very nice, because you can knock back bombs that Bowser Jr. sends at you. That's the main way to damage him. And when Spike sends spike balls at you, you can just knock them back at the spike, which is actually a creative way to kill him. And then you just do another ground pound. So, I actually like this fight. I mean, there's not really much to it. Again, the bomb concept with Bowser Jr. is okay. Bowser Jr. makes spikes in the field, which is good. But at the end of the day, this fight is fine. It doesn't really have many problems, which is a good thing. But at the end of the day, it's still a Papercraft battle. I don't really like them too much. But since Papercraft Bowser Jr. won, I am not upset. Thank you guys for watching this video. My next video will be the 1,000-year door poll, and that will be the last poll I'm going to be doing for a while. And then we're back to normal ranking videos. And make sure to stay tuned for the 1,000 subscriber special. And if you're not subscribed to any who lasted this long, you might as well subscribe as well. But other than that, G-bye.